Hello, Jermaine Griggs here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to actually use instant transposer and how to get started. Now this video will work for both Mac and PC, as the functionality is pretty much the same no matter what platform you're on. Refer to the installation file separately, as there is a certain way to install it on PC that's different than the Mac, but pretty much if you've installed software before, these are no different. Now, Instant Transposer is a complete transposition suite, if you will, that takes whatever you give it and transposes it to either all 12 keys or whatever keys you deem in the program. So I'll first start by covering the interface itself. When you first open it up, you automatically get one octave. That is to say, 12 notes pretty much. From C, you don't even see the next C. So you get one octave here. Now, if you want to expand it either way to the left, the good thing about it is you're never stuck. So let's just say you choose blue, and by the way, this is the color panel, and it works just like a word processor. If you click on blue and then start clicking away, those notes will be shaded blue. If you change it to red, the notes that are already shaded blue will remain blue unless you change them. And anything from that point on will now be highlighted in red. You can do it with yellow. So really, you could have a rainbow keys. You could have your own system for your own learning, where blue is bass, red is chord, and maybe green is melody. I mean, it's totally up to you. You have full control, which is why I love Instant Transposer. So let's just cover the C major chord, right? Now let's just say we change our mind and we want to change this to an A minor 7. Well, we could just press this green arrow on the left to expand it over an octave to the left, which actually I'm getting tongue twisted, which makes it easy for us to just click A, and now we have our A minor 7 because we expanded it. Now, what if we wanted to make an A minor 11? Well, we need to go a little bit to the right, so we press this green arrow, which signifies another octave being added to the right, and bam, we can add our 9. And now we can add our 11, which is now making this an A minor 11, a pretty big chord. Now let's just say we want to change this red color. Well, anytime you click on something you've already highlighted, it will de-highlight it. And that's pretty much what you'll do. So when you click blue, first when you click on the A, it will de-highlight it or unhighlight it. But when you click back on it, it will now be blue because you've chosen blue in the interim. So I usually just double click, and that gives me my new color, because you know the first click unhighlights it, the old color, and then the new click gives you your new color. Say you wanted to make your melody yellow, double click, bam, there's your yellow 11th in the chord, right? So that's just how simple it is to create your first chord. Now, if you wanted to transpose this to all 12 keys, cool thing about Instant Transposer is that it maintains whatever colors you've chosen. So if your bass or your lowest note is in blue, that means on all the chords that you transpose, that lowest note will be blue, if that's something you want to highlight or keep in mind. If your highest note or melody is yellow and you transpose all 12 keys, that will remain the same. So the order of notes is pretty important. This color will not change when I click Transpose All, which is up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it, and I have a pen here. So this is, oh, that's not the right button. Let's see, how do I erase? I probably shouldn't have picked this pen if I don't know how to erase. But no, it's this button right here, Transpose All. And I'm going to go ahead and, oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so Transpose All. Now watch what happens. Bam, we get this chord. It repeats it in A. Now we get it in B flat. That's a B flat minor 11. That's a B minor 11. That's a C minor 11. And the cool thing about it, it will automatically adjust these notes based on if the key has sharps in its key or flats. So notice here, it really doesn't matter because A minor doesn't have any sharps or flats. But here we're using flats. This B, however, where applicable, whatever notes that are in the B major scale, notice F sharp. It's not G flat, it's F sharp. This is C sharp, not D flat. So it will adjust the applicable notes or whatever notes apply to that chord based on whether the key is sharp or flat. So that's pretty cool. And you can follow this thing on down forever, all the way to G sharp. Okay, so this is cool, just to be able to have all the chords at your fingertip. You've learned one chord, bam, in your practicing, plug it in and just go to town playing that chord in all 12 keys in your keyboard. Now, if the computer is too much for you, you can print, right? Just click the print button, choose the printer on the list, and bam, now you have it printed out. You can also export to PDF. So we can call this minor 9, or was it a minor 11? It was a minor 11. And now this gives it to us as a PDF. So I can go find that. Now, this is a good lesson for you. Remember where you save stuff, okay? I saved it under Instant Transposer chord file. So let me go ahead and try to find that on my computer here. Let's see, Instant Transposer, installation file, chord file, and voila, there it is, the minor 11 PDF file that I just created. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this over. But here's all the chords right here, starting with A, B flat, B, C, all the way down. You can print this out, and now you got yourself something to go take to your piano. You can export as HTML. This is for my web folks. I'm going to go ahead and save this on the desktop. And for my web folks, this file will actually open in a website, right there for you. You got your chord in C, D flat, all the way down. So good for website stuff. You can copy the images to Microsoft Word, and my favorite way to do this is pretty much just open up Word and drag everything over. So what you'll find, though, you need to make this a little smaller because it takes up the whole. I'm using 2 monitors, so it's a little weird. But make this a little smaller. Click like in the corner or so, and as you drag it out, notice what's going to happen. As you drag it out, there it goes. Bring it to Word, and now you have all the chords lined up in Word. I mean, this is printable. You can come behind them and, put in your notes to things if you want to. Whatever you want to do. But everything is here, laid out for you. This is great for teachers. In fact, the reason why I did this is because this program in the beginning was for my own use, for my own teaching. Because I wanted to start a newsletter, and everything I taught in that newsletter, I wanted to put in all 12 keys. But in Microsoft Word, highlighting notes and, going to Photoshop and, having to highlight notes in all 12 keys takes a lot of time. I wasn't joking about saving time and using this as a calculator. So I said, if I had a program, I could put the chord I'm teaching one time, export it to PDF, and then have it, voila, like in 10 seconds, what would take me at least 15 minutes highlighting each one of these chords in different colors, copying and pasting. This is no joke. So really, this is a great tool for teachers, for workbook people, for your own internal, workbooks, if you want to keep up with something, that you're learning. But great if you're a teacher. This is definitely something that will add income because you can, sell your workbooks to your students or whatnot. Or just provide this as an added benefit that distinguishes you from the next teacher around the corner. So you can also embed online. All you have to do is click this. Nothing's going to happen when you click it, but what's happening is that it's copied HTML code. If you're a website person, you will know what I'm talking about. This is all code. You can put this on your website, and it will spit it out similar to how it looked on the internet. When we brought up this file, it'll be pretty similar to this. And it's not images, it's all HTML. You don't have to worry about heavy graphics. This is all done with tables. That's why it's not the prettiest in the world, but it's done with tables and it's very lightweight. It's not pictures. You don't have to worry about storing pictures and all that stuff. Okay, now if you want to erase everything, you can just erase. If you want to just start all over, I find just pressing new just works a lot better. But if you want to save, like C major 7, just press save. And you can put this on your desktop. You can call it major 7, right? I forgot to transpose all 12 keys. You press transpose all. That way you have this in all 12 keys. Press save again. And now that major 7th file is now saved. So let's say we start all over and we want to go back to a file that we created a long time ago, or maybe a fellow musician shared with us. We just click open, go over to our desktop, and that file that we created, major 7th, we can just click it, and that's how you open it. By the way, that's how you open the bonus files as well that came with this program. The bonus files that you downloaded, should be 62 of them. You open it in the same way. You simply go to open, navigate to the folder wherever you downloaded, whether your desktop or whatever, open it up, and bam, all, each 62, chord files can be opened just like that. I also find it helpful to save as. This is like if you want to add to something you've already saved. So for example, I've saved this already as C major 7, but say I want to add to it C major 9. Now if I save it, it will overwrite my last file, but if I save as, it will give me the opportunity to call this now a major 9. So in 2 seconds, I've created a major 7 file, which has my 7ths in all 12 keys. I've created a major 9 file. So this is great. You talk about building a vocabulary. You talk about learning songs. And, I've always said in the past, have a notebook, write all the chords out, then take them to all 12 keys. This takes the place. You don't necessarily have to have a notebook. And if you do want it on paper, just print, right? Come here, put your chords in, let it take them to all 12 keys, print it out, export to PDF or what have you. And now you have a neat notebook. You can save your hand, the energy of having to write all that stuff out, and making picture graphics and stuff. This does it all for you. Now if you want to add keyboards, you can go to the right as much as you want. Like you just click add keyboard. So we could do all the diatonic chords of the scale if we wanted to, right? This is C major, D minor, E minor. Oops. Got a call there. Let me turn it all off. I can do all the diatonic chords if I want to, right? F major. Now I need to extend the octave on this one because we ran out of room. And then we just kind of go across, right? Transpose all, and bam, I have the diatonic chords in D flat. Are these not the diatonic chords in D flat? D flat, E flat minor, F minor, right? G flat minor. I have the diatonic chords in D. D major, E minor, right? And I can sit here and then learn all my diatonic chords. How long did it take me to set up? Hardly any time, right? I just did that while I was talking to you in 30 seconds. I could also control sharps and flats. So let's just say I was doing a C augmented chord. Now we know technically A flat is not in the C augmented chord. Augment means to make bigger. So you have to literally take the G and sharp it, right? So we press this sharp button, click on A flat, and voila, it turns to G sharp. And then as we transpose to all 12 keys, it will maintain that. Okay, so anywhere it needs to be sharped, it will be sharped instead of flat. That makes sense, right? Same thing happens for, well, diminish, you don't really have to worry. Oops. That's another thing. When you click on these, it will remember. So you need to go back to clicking on a color if you want it to be in color mode. So right here for G flat, we don't really have to change it because it's already in flats. Most of the time our music is in flats, so I made flats the default. But anytime you need to overwrite for sharps, go ahead and do that. Another thing that you can do is you can choose what key. So you might start out, for example, with an F chord, but that doesn't mean you're in the key of F, because maybe you're going to put another chord over here and it's going to be a C chord. So in essence, this is what we call a 4 to the 1 progression. F is not the key, but right now we're hanging out at the 4th tone of the key we're in, which is really C. This is called the plagal cadence. It's when the 4 comes home to the 1 maybe. Well, we can either put this in C, we could put this in F, whatever key we're really in. Now, we could be in the key of F. This could be a 1, which is F, going to the 5. If that's the case and we're really in F, we want to put F here. That way, when we transpose it to all keys, it will know that this is the key of F. So the next key, you know, it'll come and it'll still start at C, but it'll do it appropriately, right? Bouncing around that. Okay. Another thing that you can do is relative transposition. So if you didn't want to go to all 12 keys, you can just add a single transposition, which is just saying I want to go to one key. And here you can obviously move the octave up and down if you want to, if you have a need for that. But here you can transpose up and down half steps. So in essence, if I press 1, that's taking me up a half step. It's not really dealing with whatever key. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever I put here, take me up a half step. Whatever I put here, take me up 2 half steps. Take me up 4 half steps. Take me up 8 half steps, right? And the cool thing about it, if I want to add another transposition, I can keep the one that's transposed up 8 half steps. I can add another one and say, let's go down 7 half steps, you know? And then if I want to change colors, I can change colors right on the spot, and it will change all the colors of all of my transpositions, right on the spot. Whenever you change a color, all are created equal here. So it's going to change all of them at once, saving you a lot of time. If in fact you do want to change, you know, your highest note or your lowest note, everything changes together. Of course, you can get rid of octaves, but it won't let you get rid of octaves if you have notes that are in the next octave and conflicting. So, you know, you're probably better off erasing or starting all over and doing it that way. So between the colors, edit properties. This is where you can title it Jermaine's minor chord, Jermaine's favorite minor chord voicing. And you can put, you know, then you can put a description here. Now, when you export this could be instructions or notes you've made to yourself. Okay, when you export this minor chord, for example, let's do it in all 12 keys. Now let's export as PDF, Jermaine minor, put that on our desktop. And now let me go find this chord on my desktop and watch what happens now that I've titled it. The title, the date, the author, and whatever I put here shows up on top. Perfect for giving yourself notes about the chord. Where's the chord used? You know, those sorts of things. So, and if you're a teacher, obviously, you know, titling it for your students and putting any extra notes there as well. So I love that. Also something I put in there for my own use. Remember, this was for me to make my life easier doing my newsletter and my written works. And then I decided to, why not let it be free for the world to use, you know? And that's pretty much the functionality. After we release this thing, I'm going to be starting to upgrade the buttons and look and feel and make it more snazzy and things like that. But the functionality pretty much is pretty straightforward. You know, figure out what chords, add as many as you want, transpose them. Transpose all or transpose a few, you know? And then your sharing options. You can save, you can print, you can export, you can open somebody else's work, export as a web page, embed to a blog, you know, using code that it gives you, copy the images to Microsoft Word or your favorite word processor, and use any colors you want, any key you want, your flexibility, your call. All right, so I'm Jermaine Griggs signing off. Thank you for your investment in Instant Transposer. And remember, if you can hear it, you can play it.